part, and now we are, and I know in English it's not completely correctly translated, but we are kicking in the door of a sacred house, if you wish, to talk about ROI in the same sentence than a PSP. We all know a PSP, above all, should never be considered promotional, right? Should not have any marketing purpose. But on the other hand, again, we want to be transparent and we want to put the things on the table and open a discussion with you guys. If you invest in a PSP, and we all know PSPs are not the cheapest projects you can launch into the market. It's always very helpful if you can also measure or get a grip on the impact that it will have on you as an organization. And that is why we don't want to avoid the topic to talk about ROI linked to PSPs. What we see here is a very, very simple calculation. And it's just an example because we can have completely different definitions of ROI or therapy adherence, if you wish. This is an example in an attempt to explain it as simple as possible how we could really get a grip on possible ROI. So if we start at the left-hand side and we multiply the number of administrations, so imagine we're talking about injections, and we multiply it by the cost per injection times the adherence rate, so the therapy adherence rate of patients within a PSP, we can easily calculate the average sales of a patient in a PSP. That's the left-hand side. If you do exactly the same principle methodology for patients out of the PSP, right? So the real driver of the calculation is the therapy adherence. You can also calculate the average sales of a patient outside of a PSP. So third part, to fulfill the calculation, the number of patients in the PSP times the average sales of a patient in the PSP minus the patient out of the PSP will give you a very good insight on the extra sales per year. Deduct out of this your cost of the PSP, and in our sense, you are calculating a sort of ROI. So we think also for you it could be important to invest smart. And you can only invest smart if you know what a possible outcome of your investment could be. That's why we want to also tackle this topic.